In the seemingly idyllic Gracefield house, there lived three exceptionally bright orphans: Emma, Norman, and Ray. Their days were filled with laughter, structured routines, and intellectual challenges. Under the watchful eye of the caring mom Isabella, they thrived in their happy haven along with 35 other children. One sunny morning, after a hearty breakfast, the kids showcased their remarkable intelligence in a series of tests, effortlessly earning perfect scores. Their day continued with a spirited game of tag amidst the sprawling green fields and lush forests that enveloped Gracefield. During the game, a sudden hush fell over the group as Norman, one of the brightest minds, seemingly vanished into the depths of the forest. Panic ensued as the children searched in vain for their friend. It was Emma, curious and determined, who stumbled upon the outer limits of the forest and discovered Norman gazing at the low-level fence bordering their seemingly perfect world. As they pondered the mysteries beyond the fence, the children dreamed of the day they would be adopted, leaving Gracefield House for a better life. The same day, amidst the joyous atmosphere of play, the youngest member, Connie, was to be adopted. Tearful farewells were exchanged, and as Connie was led away by Isabella, Emma found her stuffed animal, Little Bunny, abandoned. Unable to bear the thought of Connie parting with her cherished friend, Emma, accompanied by Norman, set out to return the toy. Their journey took them to the gate, where a truck awaited in the stone corridor. Emma, thinking Connie would find the bunny in the truck, opened the door to a horrifying scene: Connie's lifeless body. Voices from another room sent them hiding beneath the truck, witnessing the revelation that shattered their world. Demon-like monsters discussed the children being raised as high-quality meat for their kind. Shocked and terrified, Emma and Norman escaped back to the house, haunted by the ghastly truth that Gracefield House was, in fact, a farm for human children. Under the cover of night, Emma and Norman grappled with the shocking revelation, contemplating their next move. Norman, resilient and determined, proposed an escape plan. However, Emma hesitated, torn between saving themselves and leaving the other children behind. Their secret rendezvous was interrupted when Isabella discovered the stuffed toy left by Emma. Panic set in as they realized Mama knew someone had been at the gate. Norman, though, insisted on maintaining composure, advising Emma to keep smiling and act as if nothing was amiss. As playtime resumed, Emma and Norman agreed that escaping through the forest was the safest route. However, their hope was quickly dashed when they encountered a massive, seamless concrete wall on the other side of the short fence. The children at Gracefield House discovered the extent of the security measures in place. Mama's ability to locate a lost child with just a glance at her watch hinted at some form of tracking device implanted within their bodies. In a private moment of grief for Connie, Emma and Norman were confronted by Mama, questioning Emma's recent lack of cheerfulness. Ray intervened by ringing the dinner bell, diverting Mama's attention. However, Mama, suspicious of their actions at the gate the previous night, confronted Emma and Norman when they were alone. Though the two maintained innocence, their terror was palpable. Despite their cheerful denial, Mama's suspicions lingered. Determined to escape, Emma and Norman devised a plan involving the preparation of a makeshift rope using table linen stored in a tree hollow near the imposing wall. With 2 months until the next child was taken, they faced the challenge of preparing for the escape. Ray, a friend who followed them to the wall, believed their story, adding an unexpected ally to their cause. While preparing for the escape, Isabella introduced a new infant named Carol and an adult helper named Sister Connie. Unbeknownst to the children, Connie harbored intentions of taking control. Meanwhile, the trio discovered a red bump behind Carol's ear, suggesting a potential tracking device. Deciding it was too risky to destroy the ear trackers, they focused on the larger goal, getting everyone out. To camouflage the escape, they planned to disguise it as a harmless game of tag, emphasizing physical conditioning for the children and survival coaching from Norman and Ray. However, Sister Connie, suspicious of their activities, aimed to expedite their shipment, accusing Isabella of breaking protocol and seizing power. As Norman and Ray pieced together the puzzle, they realized there was a traitor among them. As the tension within Gracefield House escalated, Isabella made a promise to Sister Connie, offering her the opportunity to become a mama if she cooperated. Unsurprisingly, Connie privately seethed, vowing to unseat Isabella rather than passively waiting for a promotion. Meanwhile, Emma, Norman, and Ray continued their escape practice under the guise of a game of tag, this time with older kids leading the team. Suspicion weighed heavily on Gilda and Dawn as potential traitors. That evening, the trio decided to confide in 2 other children, Dawn and Gildo. Norman, however, chose not to disclose the grim truth about Connie's fate, instead fabricating a story that the kids who left were victims of human trafficking, sparing them the harsh reality. Though Gilda and Dawn agreed that an escape attempt was the only choice, Ray disapproved of Norman's omission of the truth. Norman, prioritizing the escape, set traps for Gilda and Dawn by providing them with different locations for the escape rope. That night, as Emma pretended to sleep, she observed Gilda sneaking out of the bedroom. Unbeknownst to Emma, a piece of paper was slipped under Isabella's door, revealing the location of the rope under Norman's bed. Emma, eavesdropping from behind the door, witnessed a tense exchange between Gilda and Crony. The evidence wavered, but in the end, Gilda refused to betray her fellow children. When Norman and Ray searched the designated spots, they found nothing under the bed, leading them to suspect Don as the traitor. Now, Norman was convinced that Ray had been the real traitor all along, as he was the only one aware of the hidden location. Ray, however, did not deny his actions, explaining that it was a necessary sacrifice. In a surprising turn, Norman forgave Ray, striking a deal for him to act as a spy. Ray agreed, but under the condition that Norman deceive Emma into thinking they were taking everyone except Gilda and Don. Ray emphasized that the little ones would be burdens, and after years of being Mama's informant, he was not willing to see everyone perish in a futile attempt to save them all. Later, Ray met with Isabella, misleading her about the children's activities and diverting her attention towards Sister Crony as the primary threat. Ray eventually admitted to Emma that he was Mama's informant, revealing the extent of his double life. Meanwhile, Gilda and Don felt left out of private conversations between the others but started observing Mama more closely. Emma discovered a secret room where Isabella conducted mysterious activities. Don, unaware of Connie's fate, grew increasingly obsessed with escaping to save her. He, along with Gilda, entered Mama's room, where Gilda revealed a locked door behind a bookshelf. Don persisted in creating tense situations and sought the truth, even contemplating stealing Mama's key. Despite these challenges, Norman, Gilda, and Ray recognized the need to gather as much information as possible about the outside world to ensure their escape and survival. While exploring Mama's secret chambers, Don and Gilda stumbled upon a collection of stuffed animals and toys that confirmed Norman's ominous warning about the sinister nature of the adults. Deep in the heart of the hidden chambers, a suspicion grew, suggesting that something far more malevolent was at play. Norman and Ray scolded the curious duo, knowing they hadn't heard the whole story. In a daring move, Norman decided to reveal the truth. The revelation was a heavy burden for Don and Gilda to bear. Norman and Ray orchestrated a plot to misdirect Mama by feeding her false information. In an attempt to aid Norman and Emma, stole crucial materials mentioned in Ray's report. Meanwhile, Emma, caught in the web of deception, grappled with the complexity of the plan. Little did they know that the conspirators' careless whispers reached the ears of Sister Crony, who emerged from the shadows with unexpected news. Instead of hostility, she proposed an alliance against Mama. That night, Emma and Norman approached Crony, seeking answers to their lingering questions. Crone's revelations left them both intrigued and wary, realizing she possessed more knowledge than she was willing to disclose. Meanwhile, Ray received an instant camera from Isabella as a reward for his assistance. Mama, in a surprising turn of events, appointed Crone as the mom for Plan 4, forcing her to leave immediately. However, when Crone presented her evidence to Grandma, the gravity of the kids' escape plan was dismissed, as the demons still had control. In a desperate plea, Crone requested the demons to end her life, revealing Isabella's treachery. Chaos ensued when Isabella, realizing Ray's betrayal, locked him in a room and set out to track down Norman and Emma. Don and Gilda, witnessing Isabella's departure but finding no trace of Ray, rushed to intervene. Don barged into the house, breaking down doors to free Ray, and the three raced to Norman and Emma's location. Confrontation was inevitable as Mama faced Norman and Emma, abandoning the facade she had maintained for a decade. In a moment of chilling brutality, she snapped Emma's knee, all while expressing a seemingly genuine plea for the kids to surrender and accept their fates. Norman's revelation about his impending shipment date sent shockwaves through the group, forcing them to reconsider their plans. Despite proposing to proceed with the escape plan once Emma had healed, the group rejected Norman's sacrifice. Instead, they devised a plan for Norman to deactivate his tracker with a device Ray had just completed and hide out until Emma recovered. The collective decision was to escape together as a united front. The next morning, as the escape plan was set into motion, Norman executed his daring escape. Using a makeshift rope, he scaled the wall, hoisting himself up to the top ledge. A vast forest awaited on the other side, offering a potential sanctuary where the adults would struggle to find them. However, Mama's notice of Norman's absence led to a chilling realization. While his tracking device appeared malfunctioning, her knowing smile indicated otherwise. Norman emerged from the forest only to discover a vast, deep cliff separating them from the land on the other side. Despite the grim reality, Norman provided a glimmer of hope, mentioning a bridge at the HQ, forming a hexagon within the complex of farms or plants. Norman's departure was an emotional scene, with tearful goodbyes from the devastated children. Emma, grappling with the weight of Norman's sacrifice, tried to give him the tracking device breaker. However, Norman, displaying resilience, returned it, urging her not to give up. The farewell concluded as Norman and Mama walked towards the gate, with Norman directed to a room to wait. Emma and Ray struggled to cope with Norman's absence, their spirits shattered by the loss. The little kids and Mama took note of Emma's persistent state of depression. As time passed, Ray's shipment date arrived, and Emma discovered him in the chapel. In a surprising twist, both revealed they had been acting around Mama, making her believe they had truly given up. As the clock struck midnight, a chilling plan unfolded as Ray, having discussed with Emma, believed that burning the house down was their best chance for escape. He revealed to Emma the hidden oil cans he had accumulated over the years, dousing himself in the flammable liquid. Ray explained that he had been waiting for this moment to end his life, providing a distraction for Isabella while Emma and the other orphans made their escape. Emma, panicked and desperate, raced toward Ray as he ignited the fire. The flames roared, and soon a loud scream pierced the air. Isabella, alerted by the commotion, hurried to the scene. Emma lay on the ground, devastated, calling out Ray's name. Isabella, determined to salvage Ray's brain, attempted to extinguish the fire. Ordered by Isabella to escape, Emma vanished, leaving Isabella to discover only the signal from Emma's transmitter, severed with her ear in the bathroom. Meanwhile, Emma joined the other orphans in the forest as they evacuated the house. Dawn enlightened Ray about how Emma, Gilda, and he had been involving the older orphans in the escape plan. Ray recalled Emma preventing him from burning himself and slapping some sense into him. In the cafeteria, Toma and Lanny presented a decoy with wrapped meat and Anna's cut hair, revealing Emma's preparedness for Ray's plan. As the orphans left the burning house, Isabella, outside, gazed at it with a mix of laughter and determination. She declared her intent to catch them all and bring the orphans back. Unexpectedly, Phil, a 4-year-old orphan, appeared behind Isabella, tugging at her dress. The kids began their ascent up the wall. Emma informed Ray of a change in plans. Instead of rescuing everyone that night, she would leave the little ones behind, committed to returning for them and others before their shipping dates. Little Phil, aware of the harsh reality of the harvest, was left in charge, ready for Emma's return. However, there was a hidden wrinkle in the plan. Ray had been kept in the dark, a secret that extended to Mama herself. Instead of using an obvious bridge, they employ ingenuity and resourcefulness. Heaving a stone across a narrow portion of the cliff, they successfully create a makeshift zip line. Their daring escape, Dawn skillfully ziplines across the chasm, skewering the rope to ensure a safe passage for the others. Mama, deceived by the diversion, head towards the bridge, allowing the children to slip away unnoticed. However, Emma, the last to cross, shares a defiant look with Mama before gracefully ziplining to freedom. In a surprising twist, it's revealed that Ray is Isabella's son, adding layers to their complex relationships. Despite their escape, Mama seems proud of their cunning, wishing them good fortune from afar. Well, that's all we have for you today. Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on another video.